The rain and wind howled through Cardiff, rattling windows and sending drizzling rain hard against the glass. Inside, Zoe's office was electrified with the hum of computers and the buzzing of phones, a stark contrast to the storm outside. Zoe leaned over her desk, eyes darting between the open files and the digital map on the screen, trying to trace the movements of their elusive target, Eunice Rose. Reese had managed to gather information from his investigations and shared it with the Orpheus team. The lights above flickered sporadically, while thunder and lightning roared over the city, casting a stark glow on her furrowed brow. Max stood nearby, arms tightly crossed and eyes filled with urgency. He examined several photographs spread before him, each image representing a fragment of their investigation. Frustrated, he ran his fingers through his hair as the weight of their discovery became unsettling. The office walls felt as if they were closing in on them. They could sense time slipping away, and action was imperative. "We're close, Max," Zoe said, her voice low, almost painful. "Bristol. It's her last move. I can feel it." "Why Bristol?" Max asked, his voice calm, though her mind was already working 100 steps ahead. "She's been clever, using distractions, throwing us off her trail. But why now? Why this airport? It's not the obvious choice." Zoe didn't look up immediately, her thoughts consumed by the pattern she was piecing together. They'd been chasing Eunice for days, sifting through a mountain of evidence, each lead colder than the last. And yet finally they had something solid, something dangerous. "She's not going to make this easy," Zoe muttered, her determination shining through. She straightened up, her sharp eyes darting to the well-worn map of Europe pinned to the wall. Her finger traced a line from Cardiff to Bristol, then to Milan. A chill ran over her. "This is no ordinary escape plan. Private plane. She's pulling all the stops. Cardiff is too obvious. A flight from Bristol to Milan using an alias, and my dear Max, it's the closest airport to Grace's warehouse where she keeps much of Radiance before shipment abroad," she said excitedly, throwing her pen like a dart onto her desk. Max looked more closely, eyes switching from the jet's image to the flight schedule. His voice was a mix of disbelief and urgency. "That's a bold move. A private plane. No one would think twice. This Chiban must be loaded." Zoe tapped her pen against the map, her mind spinning through the possible scenarios. "Never mind this Chiban for the moment. Eunice is clever, Max. Too clever. But this is where we'll catch her. Bristol's not a major hub. It's not London, and that's exactly what she's counting on. She'll think she can slip right through." Max's lips pressed into a thin line. She must have done this before, but this time... His mind was already racing, calculating their next moves. "This time she's underestimated us," Zoe interrupted, her voice cutting through the tension. She studied the registration for the plane. Its sleek black body was almost too perfect and too clean. "She'll change her identity, sure, but she can't change everything about herself. We've caught on to her behavior. Any poisoned lipstick batches, she won't leave those behind." Max raised an eyebrow. "But how? You think she's going to flaunt it?" Zoe nodded slowly, tapping the photo of Eunice again, her lips and attire in a garish, attention-grabbing shade of pale fuchsia. "No, Max. She may be arrogant, but she's scared too. She'll go for something softer, subtler. A muted pink, refined, elegant, something that catches the eye without making a scene. She's not going to risk drawing attention in an airport." The realization hit them both. This wasn't just about a disguise. This was a test of patience. Eunice knew that the longer she evaded them, the more they would second-guess themselves. The lipstick had been her weapon, and pink her branding, and now she would cling to it like a safety net, even while trying to slip away under a new identity. Zoe's voice was firm, steady, as she turned to face Max. "We'll know her by the pink. We must watch for it, but not the loud, in-your-face kind. We're looking for someone blending in, subtle, trying to hide in plain sight. Max's face tightened. He was already thinking ahead. And we'll make sure to set up a perimeter. She can't run when we're closing in from all sides. I'll phone Reese and the Count. Zoe began pacing, her steps quick, sharp. The clock on the wall ticked on, each second growing heavier, pushing them toward a confrontation they couldn't afford to mess up. The last piece of the puzzle was clicking into place. She could almost see the pieces falling into their right spots. She won't take the direct route. She's going to use every back door, every shadow, Zoe muttered, almost to herself. We need to head her off before she reaches the plane. She'll go to the warehouse. Max nodded. He was already making the necessary calls to coordinate their backup. They didn't have time to be cautious anymore. This was their shot. I've told the Count and Reese that we'll need the best team on the ground. They are onto it, Max said, already grabbing his jacket. I'll handle the side entrance. She'll try to sneak through there. What about you? Zoe was already pulling out her phone, her fingers flying over the screen to organize the final details. I'll take the warehouse entrance. It's our best chance. The moment she steps in there, we close in on her. Max paused at the door, his eyes meeting hers with a flicker of something fierce. Determination, maybe even a hint of fear. Zoe, please don't let her slip away. We can't lose her, and for goodness sake, take care. Zoe looked back at the files, the evidence of months of hard work scattered across the table. Each photo, each report, a testament to how far they'd come. But none of it mattered if they missed her tonight. None of it would make sense unless they were successful. I'm not going to let her slip away, Zoe said, her voice tight, almost a whisper, but full of conviction. We're done chasing shadows. She's going to be stopped tonight, for Annabelle. Eric's office team gathered around the table, the room buzzing with the tension of final preparations. Outside, the storm raged on, the dark sky swirling with the threat of more chaos. But inside that small office, there was no doubt. There was no hesitation. This was the moment. As Zoe stood, grabbing her coat, she could feel the adrenaline building in her veins, the challenge of what was about to unfold pressing down on her chest. Eunice had made a critical mistake. She had underestimated them, and now Zoe could almost hear the ticking of the clock in her ears, each second inching them closer to the confrontation.